And hello YouTube, this is GSmanimsmart, and I'm today with another brand new video for tutorials with GS. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to create an effect that will make it look like your text or any image you have, any layer you have, is actually indented or pressed in, or it actually looks like it's part of a background. It's called bump mapping, this technique. So basically, what's going to happen is we're going to have some text on top of this ancient wall, and it looks like it's actually going to be drawn on this ancient wall. For example, if I show you real quick, if we just type something random here, right, and we're gonna go ahead and grab white text, and let's go ahead and make this a little bigger. That's fine. So if we look, if we look at this, it looks like the text is just sitting on top of the wall. It clearly looks like that we've just dropped some text on it, like nothing fancy. Anyway, I could do this. But what we're going to do is we're going to make it look like this text is actually part of that wall. And that's what we're going to use bump mapping for. So, what I decided to do is, let's actually delete this layer, since we don't need it. Oh, come on, delete layer. Okay. So first of all, I'm also going to be using my two favorite champions on League of Legends, Riven and Leona, and these two images we're going to also put on this wall, so it looks like they're part of that wall as well. First off, let's go ahead and crop this image because it is a bit annoying with the white space at the bottom. That's fine. Just like that. And then we're going to come over here. And we're going to make this a new layer to new layer, and then over here to new layer as well. Alright, now we're gonna have Riven over here, sort of like that. And we'll have her like here. Oops. And we're gonna have her I think like that will do. It's kind of, the proportions are kind of odd because, but it's just for tutorial purposes. That's fine. Alright. And then we're going to grab our text tool. And actually, we're just going to have the word champions like that. That's fine. Alright, so then I think this looks fine. Let's use a different font though. Let's go ahead and use a bulky font. That's not a bulky font. There we go, that's a good font right there. Now the reason why we're going to use a bulky font is so we can really see these effects. Now I know this kind of looks weird and all, like, you know, the text is way too big and the wall isn't even big enough, so it kind of looks fake. But you know, if this is just for tutorial purposes, you can make this look really realistic if you know you have a bigger wall, if you have a text a little smaller, and you know you size these two pictures. If you size these two pictures down a bit, you can make it look very realistic. But I'm just going to show you how to do the effect. So now that we have our text here and our images here, if we zoom in, as you can see, it clearly looks like we've just dropped it on. Like, as you can see, this is a very high resolution picture on top of this wall that has some holes in it, you know, has some broken chips in it and all that stuff. And then we scroll over here, also another very high resolution. It just looks like we've dropped this right on top of the wall. Same with the text here. It just looks like we've dropped this right on top of the wall. So how do we make this look more realistic so that it actually looks like it's part of the wall? Well, very easy actually. Now what you want to do is you want to click your text layer, and you want to click layer to image size, and you want to do the same with whatever else you're using. In our case, we're gonna do the same with these layers. Layer to image size. Alright. And the next thing you want to do, we're going to work with the text first. Now, after you got that, let me close these. We don't really need these anymore. Alright. Alright. And now we can zoom in a bit as well. Alright, there we go. So go ahead and have your text layer selected, and then we're going to go up to filters. We're going to go to map and bump map. Now when you do this, oh, can I make this bigger? There we go. When you do this, you want to make sure that in this first section right here where it says bump map, you want to have your background selected. Because if you don't have your background selected, then it's not going to do it properly. So make sure you have the background that you want to have in the back. Have that selected. As you can see already, it looks like this text is already looking kind of like it's part of the wall. Now one thing you also want to do is click invert right here. Click invert. And then what you can do if you want, you can play around with these settings a little bit. Especially the depth and the elevation. Those are something you can play around with. They'll greatly change how it looks. But I think this looks fine. I mean, usually the stuff that you get in default is pretty decent. You can play around with these settings if you want, but most of the time you may only want to change the elevation a bit. The depth usually is fine. So after you have that, click OK. And as you can see, now it already looks like it's part of the wall, but we're not done yet. It looks a little like it. Now we're going to go do the same thing with these two pictures right here. We're going to go to filters, map, bump map, and all of our settings should still be the same. And the same thing over here, filters, map, bump map. And now if we were to zoom in here, as you can see, it now actually looks like it's part of the wall. As you can see, we have this little crack going across her head right here as well. It actually looks like this is part of the wall now. If we scroll over to the text here, same thing. Actually looks like it's part of the wall. So this is a cool little effect. Now if you wanted to stop here, you could stop right here, but we're gonna add something else that's gonna make this look a little more realistic even. Let's go ahead and zoom out of here. And we're gonna go ahead and grab our background layer right here, and we're gonna duplicate it. And you're gonna drag this layer all the way up to the top. For some reason not letting me drag it. If it doesn't let you drag it, just use the green arrow right here at the bottom to move it up. And after that, we're gonna go to the layer modes right here, and we're gonna click color down here at the bottom. Now as you can see, this gave everything sort of the color of the background here. And then, if you don't like it, if you feel like it's too much, you can always adjust it with the opacity. Now you can type in 55 maybe. 55 is too much, maybe 44. Maybe we'll go like that. There we go. And if you feel like it's not enough, you can always duplicate this layer. You can duplicate the layer, and it basically multiplies the effect. Now if we zoom in, look at that. It actually looks like it's part of the wall. Not only do we have the cracks in the background make it look like it's in the part of the wall. As you can see, this crack goes right across the image layer. But now we also have the color tint on the actual image. So this is a nice little effect that you could use if you want to put your name on like a golden nameplate, if you want to put your name on a brick wall, you know, anything like that. Anything that has to do with making it look like, you know, some text is part of something, or an image is part of something, or if you want to have your name, you know, indented on a piece of parchment or anything like that, you know, it really works well with bump mapping like this. But that's pretty much it. There are a few things you can do. You can play around with some of these layer modes, but I found the best one to be color. I mean, some people might want to use soft light, but I mean, soft light works, but you know, it brings the colors out too much a bit. So I like to use color because it actually brings the background color and forces it on top of these two layers. That's it, guys. Fairly easy to do, fairly simple, and you should definitely try it out if you've never tried it out, because you can make some pretty cool designs with this method. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video helped you out in any way. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It'll really help me out. If you didn't like it, you can leave a comment as well, giving some feedback. If you have any other comments or questions, please leave them in the comments as well, and I'll do my best to answer them. I usually respond to comments within 24 to 48 hours, depending on your question and depending on how busy I am. I have plenty of other content on my channel about different software tutorials and how-to videos, so if you're interested in that type of stuff, check it out. And if you like what you're seeing, you can subscribe too. Really appreciate it. You can also check out my other channels and social media as shown on the screen right now. And with that, thank you so much, everyone. And this is GSmanimsmart, and I'll be back sooner than you think. Don't go anywhere.